Running a dental practice can be so stressful. I should know my name is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, and I own two of them. On Talking Nachos, we bring in our amazing sponsors to help you do three things: increase success, decrease stress, and most of all, reduce the number of times you feel like crying inside. That is the number one KPI of all dentists, how many times you feel like crying inside a day. And I have an amazing guest on with me today. Would you share with us who you are and what you do to help dentists?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Paul. My name is Derick Van Ness. I'm with Big Life Financial, and we do tax and financial strategy for dentists and other small business owners. So essentially, we help you as a dentist. Once you make money, you realize you have a tax problem, so you need to keep it. So we help you to reduce taxes, and then you realize, oh, I've got this extra money. What should I do with that? And we help you to safely grow that money in ways that are aligned with what you want to get out of life. The business is called Big Life Financial, not Big Money Financial, because I think the whole thing about money is it's creating a better quality of life. And I think that's something that makes us a little different. It's not just about the money, it's actually about how you get to enjoy your life.
I love that. I have a take on ROI. Instead of return on investment, I also talk about relationships, opportunities, and the impact we have on others. And you talk about ROE, return on emotion. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people ask me, should I do this with my money or should I do that with my money? And the easiest barometer isn't necessarily about how much money you're going to make, but also how you feel as you do it, right? We have people who save money and scrimp and save and tighten the belt, and they feel terrible about their life.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily great. But you also don't want to overspend every single penny. So there's a middle ground where you know that you're moving the needle, you're moving toward what you want, and you're enjoying life along the way. And so I think ROE is about making decisions that improve the quality of life along the way, not just somewhere way down the road. Obviously, we have to plan for the future, but I think you need to have this way of understanding how am I feeling and enjoying my life in the present? Because if that's missing, you'll never get to the point where you're going to enjoy it sometime in the future either.
I love you sharing that. Maybe to give you some insight on dentist, I'm a 48-year-old dentist. I graduated from dental school in 2002. Very, very lucky that my parents and my dad were able to pay for my dental school education. But you still put your financial growth on hold. You know, you're 22 to 26 in dental school, and nowadays some dental students are taking out $500,000-$600,000. So all they
I
tell you
know.
is, you don't have any money, live like a student, eat ramen for the rest of your life. And then you start making money. But in an interesting way, that causes its own set of problems, because sometimes you still have this mentality of, I didn't have any money, I was in debt. And I think us dentists and medical doctors, we get a little mentally twisted about money in our life. And I'm sure you see that with some of your clients who might say things like, I can't afford this $5,000 thing. And I said, well, your bank account has $500,000 in it. I think you can afford this thing. And
Mhm.
I appreciate how you bring in the life part to it too, because I always thought that was a little frustrating. Like, don't, you mentioned before, like, don't drink this latte today. 75-year-old you will be very upset. I'm like, but 48-year-old me really wants this latte, right? So
Yes. Yes.
I love how you kind of talk about, big life, also maybe big picture. So the R&D tax credits, it's something you guys help dentists with. It's something I've heard about before. I'm assuming, there's a lot of confusion from us dentists about this. So tell our audience
Yes.
specifically how you help with this. What are the opportunities for them to be able to, whether it's tax savings, tax planning, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so there is a lot of confusion around the R&D tax credits, and honestly, some of the credits that came out during the pandemic were something that made it even more confusing, right? Because that was a completely separate thing, but they're both tax credits.
Yeah.
Sort of like real estate and the stock market are both investments, but they're totally different things, right? So, just to make it clear, the research and development tax credits came out in the 1980s. And they originally started with the automotive industry so that they could, American automakers could compete with the foreign cars, right? Up to that point, the Americans had dominated, and then the Asian cars, the Toyotas, the Datsuns, the Hondas came in and started kicking our butts, right? So the government said, "Hey, we want our people to innovate, so we're going to give them tax credits for this." Over the course of time, these credits changed. They went from being you have to come up with new to the world technology to just something new to your business. They changed it from it all being super high level and technical to there's a simplified version of the tax credit. And so there's a lot of misconceptions about things that have happened over time and how that's changed. But the version that's has been around since 2015 is the permanent part of the tax code. It's Section 41 if you want to look it up or have your CPA look it up. So it's not some gray area thing that we're being inferred to. This is literally black and white. The 4-part test, which is the 4 boxes you have to check to create credits in your business, is there. And so there's no question whether it's a legitimate tax credit. The question is whether you qualify, right? The nice thing about dentistry is there's a ton of technological change. Things are changing all the time, right? A few years ago, it was milling crowns. Then it was people doing cone beams. Then it was digital scanners. Now it's 3D printing. And it looks like it's going to be, assisted surgery and other kinds of things in the near future here.
Robots, they're here.
Yeah. I've seen them at the trade shows. I don't know anyone using them yet, but I know it's just a matter of time, right? And so dentistry is just one of those industries where stuff's changing all the time. So if you're spending money in your business to improve your processes or your products, and you're doing it with technology, chances are really good that you're incurring some level of credits and you just don't know it, right? And so a lot of CPAs, when they look back on where the credits were 20 years ago, it's true, you might not have qualified back then, but ever since 2015, this has been pretty straightforward. We've done it for hundreds of dentists, and it's been no problem at all. Like even when they've been looked at, they've gone through just fine, right? So
I love that. I wanted to interject that us as dentists, we feel the dentist tax. We talk about taxes and how they impact really our morale. Sometimes, you talk about life, like taxes to me can be an emotional thing just as much as a financial thing. And
For sure.
It's awesome that you presented this opportunity for our community to at least learn about it. We have a big JFO, just find out mentality. So my assumption is, these dentists who are watching this or getting this through email or text or finding out more about this, what's the process with you and your team, right? Dentist, we have so many things we have to find out about. I know we have a great landing page we can share with Nachos, but do they go on a call with you and your team? Do they need to submit their tax returns? How does getting started work?
Yeah, we always start with a quick phone call, right? Answer any questions, find out a little about your situation, and just make sure. There are some dentists, if you just started your business last year and you didn't pay any taxes, getting the credits may not be the best use of your time at this moment, right? Maybe once you're a little more profitable and paying some taxes, or somebody who's still doing mercury fillings from the 80s. I don't know. Those guys are probably not getting R&D credits, but we have a phone call, maybe 15 minutes just to kind of check in, make sure it seems like, yeah, on the surface, there's definitely some opportunity here. Then we gather some data from you, primarily tax returns and some payroll documents, because a lot of the credits are incurred by the wages you're paying your employees to figure this stuff out and tweak it and learn from it. And then we do a free estimate for you. And so we'll come back and say, hey, here's what we see. And if it feels like it makes sense to move forward, then we'll move forward from there. And it takes another week or two. We create the credit study, which is usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 pages, where we break down all the activities and everything. There is about a 30-minute phone call along the way where we document all the different changes and things that you've made, new technology, things you've tweaked, changed, tried, whether they worked or not, and we put it all together. So it's probably about 2 hours of total time for you to find out. And then if you want to move forward with the credits, our team will do the study, and either your CPA can amend your taxes if we're going backward, or we have someone on our team that can do that for you as well. But it's very easy. And once people have done it with us and they get their checks, they come back every year. So
Awesome.
It's a pretty simple process. There's no high pressure. There's no risk on your part. It's just like you said, just find out. And we'd be happy to investigate it for you and figure out what might work for you.
Awesome. I love that JFO mentality. I appreciate you bringing joy to dentist Derick. So appreciate you supporting our community. People can reach out to us at dentalnachos.com to find out more about connecting with you. If people want to go directly to your website and say they're a Nacho fan, how would they do that?
Yeah, so our website is Big Life Financial, right? But we do have a special page, which is Big Life Financial /dental nachos page. Right.
Awesome.
So dental nachos page.
My team will share that in the notes there too. So I truly appreciate your support. I think this is awesome. I want to find out about it for my own offices and businesses. There's too many things we could be missing out on by not JFOing. So appreciate your support and sharing with us today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of it.